What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Eclipse Reviews. This is the episode number 7. As you might able to hear, I am a bit cold, so I guess that I won't be able to judge the mixes that good, because since I entered the studio, one of the ears was hearing different. So yeah, there was no bass. I tried to open my ears, but I'm gonna make video about this. I believe it's really important topic. Anyway, let's start with the first track, and I will try to cover 3 tracks in each episode. All right. So Digmah, My Reality. Digmah. Yeah, Digmah, My Reality. I love the start. It's slow and so far so good. Yeah, something's wrong with my hearing. I'm not sure. Is it to my ears or the mix? Somehow the kick and bass are really low in a level, but it might be because of my ears, because I got cold, because I had a similar feeling. But I believe it's both. That maybe it's my ears, but also I think somehow it's really low in a level. And also we have the risers in the intro, which are kind of pushing the track up. But if we are putting the risers on in our track, that means that we mark the track in a certain direction, that it means it's gonna have this uplifting moment, it's gonna have this tension building up. But I don't think it's that effective. I would consider maybe working on it to create this uplifting or this boosting level a little bit more high. Yeah, somehow, I'm not sure, but it's like it didn't reach a little bit upper levels. It was like close to it to reach that level and then needed to stop for certain reason. Okay. Yeah, it's good, but I would consider maybe putting the noise sound, anything like shh, and then I'll filter up just to create a little bit more noise and amplify this moment a little bit more. And maybe also a little bit of highs, like the hi-hat loops with the snare, that will also come from the same filtering effect, just to create more tension in this moment just before it stops. And that way it will be, I think, a bit better effective, or more effective. Also, I would consider when the vocal comes in to stop even to this pluck sounds, because that way it will be like switching, like the track stopped and then there's a vocal and then the kick and bass start. I think it will have way more effect. I think low end is missing. Let me check this through the analyzer. I need to use analyzer, otherwise I will not be sure. Yeah, definitely. What I can see through the analyzer, I'm not sure will you able to see the analyzer, but yeah. So the lows and the mids are on the same level, so I would always put at least 3. I usually, in my case, the ratio is at least 5 dB. The low end must be higher than the mids and highs on the kick and bass, because the kick and bass, their concentration, their biggest effect is in the low end, and this is why we use them mostly. They're gonna cover the low end at first. We can use the highs and mids just to create a little bit different effect, or that for them to be more plucky and whatsoever. But this can be fixed through the mastering. But anyway, in order to get the right perception of a track so that I can feel the groove, I think it's really important from the beginning into the writing sessions that they are at least set to some decent level of the lows, and that way it will be way more pumpy, like with more low end. It will sound way better when it comes to writing, not only the from the mixing part. Yeah, this sound that just came in, like, it had a way more low end than the kick and bass. Beside this, I think it's all fine, but also when it comes for reviewing, it's really important for me to mention that some things and the review can be done really well, that I can analyze the first or the most important elements. This is how it works. For example, it's also the same rules when I do the mixing and mastering. So first of all, I fix at first stages, I fix the things that are the most important in that moment, and after that I can go into the different levels of details and whatsoever. So before this track have the low end fixed, it's really be hard for me to judge all other elements, as now we perceive the snare way higher than it's needed. It doesn't need to be, because we might hear this just because the kick and bass do not have enough low end, and I cannot say the snare should be reduced in the level before the kick and bass get the more low end. So first thing I would do, put the low shelf to around 100 and boost it at least for 5 dB, easily with 5 dB. But also I saw something over here that's also can be fixed. Yeah. So this is not right. So now the highs are way higher than the low end, but it should be in the best case they should be at least on the same level. While usually I like more mixes when the low end is a little bit more higher than the highs over here. It's around 145 BPMs, but it sounds somehow slower. I think it's because missing the low end. This vocal, you call this reality. I think I heard it for several times already. I would consider having it 2 or 3 times at least. That way it has a way more effect. I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, also this T, it does not have the meaning. I know it might sound good because it's yelling and it pumps the power, so from that perspective it sounds good, but still it's like it's reality. It's only the last 2 words of the word, so it's better if you put reality and then you do it like this, then it will have sense. Just with T on the end, it's kind of, I don't know, it's not that good. Yeah, this is the power of the riffs. Like, riffs are not melodic, but they are not harps. The riffs are something really beautiful, so really powerful in the Psytrance music because they pump in that rhythm. They interfere and combine with the groove itself. They create something that's really, really interesting, that's moving the people. So when it comes for Psytrance music, the most important thing are the rhythmics. Trust me on this. There are different types of Psytrance music, definitely, but when it comes to full on, even progressive, like what kind of atmosphere you create and how do you drive to the groove, because people are coming on the parties and festivals to dance, and even if they listen at home and if they play Psytrance music, most likely they will be in a moment of dancing or having fun, something they are seeking to listen, something that's gonna move them. So if you start creating music that moves, this is going to be really important. I'm gonna repeat the Aja's advice when I spoke with him about his approach on his music, is that he is always trying to dance in the studio, and if he dances to his music, that means if he stops dancing, that means he needs to fix something in his track or whatsoever. So try to imagine what is the essence, and this is done really well. Like, this track is, for me, it's really good. Besides, it has a huge error, and I'm not sure is this by purpose or by accident, but it has a way less low end than it should be. I'm talking about 10-15 dB in the low end. Maybe I'm now mistaken because of my hearing and because of my cold, but even if I see through the analyzer, like, the lows should be at least up here. If the highs are to -10, then the lows needs to be at least to -5. This down, I'm not sure, it's kind of spoiling up this really good momentum. So maybe this sound try to replace with something that's going to be also, that's gonna affect the track to be groovy as it is already. So some down. I don't know, it's kind of maybe a little bit destroying this groovy moment, which is so far so good. Nice. Yes, this one now, I don't know, I don't like this sound. Somehow it it is maybe the only sound, and the use of this t so many times, this is what creates this track to not be on that professional level. I'm talking about arrangement, writing, and creative part, of course, the sound quality itself. But as I've said many times, if you are seeking for writing the music, then doing your mixes and getting the knowledge and the skills to do the mixing and the great sound design for your tracks can actually pull yourself away from your creativity. So this is something just to consider. It's not that I'm saying that you should not do your mixes. If you want, it's okay, but I'm just talking from my experience that it caused me to lose a lot of creativity until I gained the knowledge to have these great sounding tracks. So I now need to work out again on my creativity, because I lost it as I got lost into this technical world, which is so complex and so big and so hard to achieve. It's something you should consider. So Digmah, if you have the ways, maybe you find somebody to help you with making way better kick and bass and drum elements whatsoever. Pull out these two sounds which I said, and I think the track will be good. Also consider maybe having a little bit longer break. It's good thing to have certain breaks. They don't need to be too long. I'm not saying that everybody should make these long breaks and whatsoever, but at least 30 seconds for people to rest, because again, we're gonna end up most likely playing our music on a longer sets, and then all these breaks will have way more effect. I'm saying this from my personal experience. I also did not like breaks, and I tried to do, but I realized why the breaks are so important, because when I played this type of the music with not much break and also pushing the tracks into the higher levels energetically, then everything had sense. I was making the people on the dance floor getting tired all the time, and this is not what we want to do. So having at least one break in a track is a smart thing to have, especially because intros will not be played. They most likely will be mixed into the another track. So if you mix, remove the intro and remove the outro, because they're going to be mixed in with another track, and then you have a track without the break. After the track there won't be any breaks. People will get super tired. So think about, when you do arrangements, that intros are mostly for streams, or I don't know, but when it comes for the parties and whatsoever, we should think about that our tracks are going to be played on a festivals, parties, and that we will need to have at least a few breaks. Here maybe a certain change, like and then continue on the same thing. If you make this type of the short breaks with the fills, everything, consider of switching the scene of a track, making something that's completely different elements, different groove, or leading a track into a different the direction with changing, adding melody or whatsoever, or different riff, different rhythmical parts, as that way is going to be way more interesting. Congratulations, I can hear that you really love music, and I can hear that you are not making music just for different reasons to be popular or whatsoever, that you have thinking way of your career. I really hear a lot of potential, a lot of feeling. There is this spark in this track which I really like. As you were able to see also, this track moved me even though I'm kind of sick right now. And this is what is really important. Like, if the track has this, then all the details can be worked around. If the track does not have this, I would always consider, in my case, deleting the track and starting over from something which I'm gonna create that's gonna have this power of moving other people. Alright, let's go to the next one. Iquona, I'm not sure how do I pronounce all of this. Iquona, Save My Soul, original, 1 year ago, private, cool. Chord at the beginning, awesome. Nice logo, if this is a logo, but I believe it is. Okay. I believe this is around 140. Nice. Awesome. Musically well done. This sequence, I think they are not necessary over here. The melody, the chord progression, they already have the effect that's created with them, and as a support, maybe something more gentle, something more in a texture wise to be in a background, but they are already there, like chords, like these plucks, and then this chord, maybe this one that rise up to be way less in lower, maybe something softer, some more paddy, like more pad, like something that's more soft like this. It's a bit sharp. Now again, this is for my taste and how I would change this. So I would keep the plucks as they are, but I would use more softer sounds like pads that also can open up in a highs, but they're gonna have more texture wise and to create a more atmospheric. And this maybe not to use them over here, or to reduce the level for a decent amount so they become a background surface, not to be in front. So this is now when it comes for mixing the elements that are creating the effect of the track. If it's a riffs like da 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 da, then putting them a little bit higher in a volume, they're gonna take the place, they're going to be the main one, while all the rest elements that are not that necessary, they are supporting this element, you can reduce with the level. Again, I'm gonna come to the Aja's. When I was analyzing Aja's music, like I was, as I already said many times, when I hear something that moves, I'm gonna start listening to it and I'm gonna try to analyze why does this artist's music is creating what it does. So when it comes for mixing, what I found out that's really interesting in Aja's music is that he has a lot of these sounds, a lot of these psychedelic sounds whatsoever, but they're really not that high in a volume, so the kick and bass are always in front. So that way I'm not sure does he do this by purpose or accidentally, it really doesn't matter, but kick and bass are taking the advantage in front of everything, and they are the one that are in front, and they are usually always groovy, like while all the sounds are lower in the level and they become a background. So all these sounds are just creating the textures in the background, while the kick and bass are leading the whole track. The same goes for all the other elements. Analyze what can be the most important for that part of a track, what is leading that part of the track. If that's the kick and bass, then maybe reduce all these sounds in a level. You can also use the automation if you want to change this from part of a track to part of a track. This tan 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 tan, I think it's not necessary in the break. I think it would be good if you bring everything down, everything stopped, and then just tan 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 tan. That way the expectation will still be better. Now this ta 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 ta, now it has sense. Before that I would consider in removing them. Kick and bass are a little bit tricky. Again, if you have problems of making at least decent kicks and basses, try to find any templates, try to find the samples that are good enough. Future Phonic, I have my own sample packs. I'm not trying to sell to you. If you want, you can buy them, but this is not the reason why I'm mentioning them. It's just that I can stand behind all of them. All of them have a decent quality at least. So if you put them there, you will have at least start point. So even if you want to create your own, try to use the ones that you are sure that are professional enough, and then you can reference them. You can listen to them and try to make something similar to them. So drop them in a project and try to create your own if this is what you want. So certain samples can be really good inside your project, at least if they are just the reference. And also this pam pam pam, it's okay, it already started, but now the track is at the beginning. Maybe concentrate on the groove itself with this ta 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 ta, and then this melody you can bring a little bit later in the track. Yeah, this part now, there's a switch, there's like... And all these sounds, they are too loud and they come too suddenly. Try to use like, you can use any EQ as a filter. Try to put, I do put in every element of my tracks that are in the mid and high range. I always put like the high cut and then I try to open them. That way I can control how they will come into the mix and how and in which level they're going to be fully open and have the most effect. Also, once you start changing the groove, I think the smart thing is that you leave a little bit of space for the groove itself. I'm repeating this from track to track, but somehow I have a feeling that the most of people are creating this mistake. The kick and bass are gonna drive the whole track. They're gonna have this power, so give them a little bit of space. They are the most important element as well. So if you keep them dry, your track is not empty. That part of a track already have the kick and bass. The groove is there. It's gonna drive people to dance. It's gonna move them. They can be super beautiful. For this, you need to have a way better kick and bass sound design. And if you solve this kick and bass sound design, if you maybe replace your samples with some bit more professional, you will hear what I talk about, and then you will understand. This applies for everyone. So the sound design quality of your kick and bass is important. Because once they reach certain level, you will feel that they are enough. If they are not well designed, not good enough, you won't have this feeling, and you will try to add more elements inside of this part of a track, even though it's not necessary. So this part I would just keep the groove at least for 8 bars and then start bringing other elements. Melody is nice, but it does miss a little bit more work on it. Dun, 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 dun. You can complicate that by giving more rhythmical, like more short notes in a lower octave, like so just chopping and try to create something that's more rhythmical is gonna help the track. Also, all the sounds I hear right now that are a little bit louder, and I would consider in bringing them down and putting kick and bass a little bit higher. Dun, 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 dun. It comes and goes and comes and goes. It's not that effective. It's not that even beautiful. Like what you did, everything else is way better. Like the composing skills are amazing. If you did so, if you did not, still it's a good choice. So try not to spoil up this what's already created, this chord progression with this. It's really nice. And this dun 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 dun, it came into the first part of the break or over here, and then it comes here, but somehow it's spoiling the momentum. Okay, so there's a one element here, there's a second, and there's a third, all of them in a break. How I would do this is now from my personal taste and perspective, like this, like pads, like the same that are going over here, but maybe different preset, different sound design, something that's more with the pads, which I already explained, and then opening with the filter, it's gonna rise up and create way better momentum for this melody. These are way too loud. I know that this is maybe a mixing, but also like it's taking the whole part. Like, dun, 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 dun. I will try to reduce it and create it that it comes from the background up there. Also, there's maybe no need to stop with the crash and then dun, 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 dun. Maybe you can continue with the ARP, bring the cutoff way down, and then this melody to start again from the high cut filter and start opening up, and that way it's gonna support this already melody. So that way the flow is gonna continue, it's gonna create like this, it's kind of chopped, change the scene, and it's coming back to the same position. I will just change it to be this way. Again, the ARP with the kick and bass is starting with fully open, like or try to start from the beginning, like only with the kick and bass. That way the scene is changed, the groove is starting, a little bit space for the groove, and then with the filter start bringing it from the beginning. Once the kick and bass start, we can remove everything, and then we can kind of switch a scene and then bring it back, combining with what happened in the break altogether in the part where the kick and bass are starting. So I would just be a bit more smart when it comes how do we bring elements in the track. this melody has a way more sense now with the kick and bass, while when there's no kick and bass, there's no rhythm that is going to be combined with, it does not have that much sense. So the track is really high skills of writing, like the transposing. There's a really good momentum. It's really melodic. It really has the flow and development when it comes tonally and writing skills. I would work way more on the arrangement, on as I already mentioned, like the flow of a track. Like you started really well, but then you a little bit spoiled this momentum with this new elements over here. Or put more reverb delay on them, so they become something interesting in a sound design form. With reducing the level, they're gonna just fill up and create and add to the atmosphere that's already created. Drum template must be better, like more quality in the kick and bass and other drum elements. This melody, it's way too loud. Reduce it, because it's just taking too much of the space of the whole track, and it's kind of a bit painful. It might be because of my hearing right now. Anyway, let's move to the next one. JRB Dream Machine. In my opinion, this is a way too much information straight after the first play. I would at least put a filter on it and bring it a little bit slowly. Give it at least 30 seconds of development. Like from the zero, now I listen to nothing, and once I press play, nobody wants to be filled up with so many information. This is my philosophy. Okay.
My name's Rich Grogan, and this is my Dream Machine. Took it 10 years to build. It records people's dreams.
Everything was great until this moment. Just the clap is just starting just before this. Like, I would consider maybe putting it one, like just to announce it, it's gonna happen. But I would leave the clap on every second kick as it should go just after this small break. So I wouldn't use it in the form as it will go right now. Maybe I would announce it just to make this whole game interesting, but I did expect that the clap will start a bit later. So and then they can start every second kick. Now for 40 quid. You can watch your dream. You can watch I just wanted to say maybe I would go only with the kick and bass in this part, and you did it, but you did it kind of slowly. I would consider instead to create this shift, as this type of the music, it's really important. It will not have the breaks, which is this type. It does not go to high energetic levels, but there are constantly these changes from the whole rhythm or the whole rhythm section going on and then bringing back to kick and bass. These are the most effective parts of this type of the music. So,
Then what you doing? I'll do it all for 40
now kick and
quid.
bass. Without with this I had a feeling that it still continue with all the other elements. So just try to just kick and bass. It will have a way more effect.
Then what you doing?
And also maybe a little bit of space of that dryness of kick and bass without the vocal and everything. You can just move all these parts for a little bit in front of a track and it will have way better effect.
Then what you doing?
Because now it came to this point while it did not have this momentum of dry kick and bass.
Interested in seeing your dreams, send me an email.
Leave that flat. Just support it with a clap or just bring it, and that way you're gonna have way more shifting in a track. It does not need to be clap, it can be this zaps of whatever, just punch it and create and push that groove a little bit higher, even though it's amazing. Amazing.
I'll do it all for 40 quid.
Grogan told me I wasn't allowed to have a dream about him, but I couldn't help it. And I had been banned from the dream machine. Dream machine.
This was really nice. I just feel it's a bit pity it did not continue with this on the break. Like, I really liked it. I just wish if it's continued.
Technology is amazing.
Opa!
Technology is amazing. Technology is amazing. Technology is amazing. Technology is amazing.
I would add something here, maybe that same sequence which I just mentioned previously.
I mean, the technology is amazing. I just wish Reese Grogan didn't have to be in my room the whole time I was asleep.
Honestly, really, really well done. It is creative. The flow is amazing. There was no much of the things which I just said. I really enjoyed in listening to it, and really, really, really something that I'm really happy that I listened to. I don't want to be rude to anyone else, but I really need to congratulate for this track. It's really nice. This part which is missing, which I said missing a little bit of the groove, maybe you can even make this part shorter, maybe chopping up this part of a track and moving to this part, because it's 9 minutes long and it does have everything. So just please use this part a bit more often. This it's amazing. This can be the main part. I would use it especially in these segments. Just continue with this, like, and then maybe move to something else and maybe chop up this part. This is amazing, but just the support after it, maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's gonna lose the flow, but then just increase after it. Increase a little bit with the rhythms, like.
If you're interested in seeing your dreams, send me an email.
Good. Now. just support these vocals, which are good. They are evolving, they are creating this. Just a little bit more rhythmical support with the claps, I don't know, with whatever you I'm sure you're gonna have the ideas because you showed your creativity already. I really love it, and congratulations. And yeah, that will be all. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon. It's already 50 minutes, so it's better that I stop right now. Otherwise, it's going to be madness watching all of this. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon with another video. Bye.